Fans, welcome to Sports Chat. We're here tonight with Coach Ryan Browning. We also have a couple members of the Lady Cougars basketball squad with us. Coach, we're a decent clip into the basketball season now. How are things working out up there?
Well, I think the last several weeks, I think very well. It took us a while to get started there at the beginning of the year, but here in the last two and a half weeks, I think we're playing some good basketball.
Had a big win against the Lady Wildcats of Oak Ridge, and I know we've talked, they're a young team, but it's still Oak Ridge and still a big district win.
Yeah, and I think you can see that at the beginning of the game. I think we played a little bit tight, a little bit rambunctious there. It was tight after the first quarter, and after that, we settled down, got in a rhythm, hit some shots, and just got in a good flow. Defense did well, caused a lot of turnovers, and anytime you can outscore somebody 35 points in a game, that's great. But we did it in the last three quarters, so I was really proud how they settled down and played the last three quarters.
What do you think has really turned the switch on for this team for the most part in the last few weeks?
Well, I think for one thing, we're shooting the ball better. I think in the last two games we've shot 20. We've made 22 threes, and I think in the first six, I don't even know if we got to double digits. So that's helping. We've got a good inside-outside presence. Hannah had to set up the first couple games, but the first couple games she came back, we didn't shoot the ball well altogether. So it didn't. So it just didn't one person turnaround. I think the whole team is just clicking. I think the defense is clicking well. We don't give up a lot of stick backs. We do a good job rebounding, and just all together, just handle the ball, not a lot of turnovers, and just a good team effort.
Now, I know last year, the JV squad just had a tremendous season, and those girls are starting to move up to the varsity level.
Right.
How has that affected, especially the good depth you have on the roster?
It's made a big difference. Those five are now all junior. Well, they're all juniors, and also Whitney played a lot last year and get her some time on the JV. But it makes that bench. If you can go to the bench and not drop off ball handling or scoring or rebounding, that just makes you deeper. A lot of these teams. I think Amber Guy has scored. She's been the lead scorer once or twice already this year in a game. And, if your third post could come off the bench and lead you in scoring, that's a big thing with everybody. A lot of as soon as people get into the bench, you can tell a big difference on some of these teams. And we can shoot the ball. Olivia's handled the ball well when Chelsea comes in or when Chelsea's in or out. Either way, Olivia's handled the ball well. Brooke's still trying to get a little bit stronger at times. She's had an injury too. She's finally getting over. She can get into that mid-range jump shot. She can knock those down all night. Michaela's going to get there and beat and bang all night. And that's you want her to scrap and get loose balls and things like that. And Whitney's came in. Whitney's an excellent passer. Sometimes she looks to pass too much. She did the same thing in practice today a couple of times. But they all have their knack, what they're good at or better at, and just using them as a whole makes us just that much deeper and that much more just a better team. And we talk about it just like the other night. That they come to work hard every day in practice. So I don't ask them to slack off in a game. Just stay aggressive. Don't look at the scoreboard. Just keep after it.
And you talk about post play. Obviously, you've got some strong posts going with Hannah, with Jamie, of course with Amber. And is it Megan?
Megan
also,
Caudell.
Yeah, that's the other one. I know there's just a lot of power under that basket.
It is. Hannah can step in. She's played that post position here she's been on varsity all 4 years, and she works deep in the post. This year to me the biggest difference, she feels comfortable in everything. Her outside jump shots is better, and just going tougher to the going stronger. If she gets fouled, she's going to got her to the free throw line more already. Megan is she's had some games where she scored some, but here her scoring's went back a little bit, but she stayed on the boards. I think the last 3 games she's somewhere around 8 or 9 rebounds a game and getting some steals and some of the things. And we just got to get Amber stronger on some things. Sometimes you'll see Amber kind of slack off, and we got them to play them tough in there. A lot of these teams don't play 2 post all the time. They go to that 4 out and go to one of that dribble drive stuff. And having sometimes it gives us matchup problems, but our girls have done a good job. If we can keep working the ball in, and I'm an old fogey, get it the closer you can get it, the better your chances are to score. And I think our posts are doing excellent with that.
Now, we've asked the other coaches this and asked you before this started. You're not as affected by the new rules changes that many other coaches are. What do you attribute to the cause of you not being so affected by it?
Well, we like to play aggressive on defense. At times at times we get too far rambunctious. But this year, this crew, I think that's the biggest to me. This crew, from last year to this year, they've learned how to play defense without foul. You know, every once in a while we aggravate Megan. Megan will just foul just like the other night, she just ran over that girl and everybody else has stopped, but Megan flattened her pretty good like a linebacker. But you know, and when we, like I say, when we foul, it's usually it's a no. You know, the ref doesn't have, it's not too much of a judgment call. He can blow the whistle pretty easy. But you know, we do some things in practice. We're not big about, you know, we'll talk about getting hands or forearms on some things just to try to make our dribblers better and stronger. But I think it's helped us. I mean, I've been a person the last several years fussing about how we'll try to dribble and we can't go around somebody because of the hand check. And so I think it's gave our guards a little bit easier motion against some of these teams. I think it's helped us offensively in that case. And defensively, like I said, I think the way we've taught them and talked about how we do things, it's not affected us so bad. So it probably helped us in the long run.
Now, defensively, a lot of coaches just swear by man to man, but you do really well with zone.
Well, we've got a chock full of all kinds of defenses we like to run, but to me, you've got to be able to adapt to what the other team can't do. You know, we try to confuse them or try to aggravate them the best we can. We've got our 2-3, which we can get long in it at times with, you know, if we put Amber and Hannah down there and Jamie or even Kendra's a little bit taller guard, and we can aggravate them at the top if they don't shoot the ball real well. We jump into that 1-3-1. We jump into a 3-2. We've got several things out of that 2-3 zone we like to do with some traps, and we play some man. We try a little bit of everything. I think even that Gibbs game, we even tried a little 1-2-2. We couldn't guard that one girl at the free throw line, and we were just trying anything we could. But we've worked on some different presses, and what's good is our girls. I mean, when you say something about moving something, they don't just give you some blank stares. I mean, they'll adapt, and they're getting better at it. So I appreciate them listening and being able to work with them.
And you've got the early season behind you, with some holiday tournaments coming up, but then you really jump into what I consider the meat of the schedule.
Yeah.
You know, you know those holiday tournaments. You think that's a good way to prepare for that just large amount of district play you see in the second half of the season?
I think it, especially the way, you know, the last 2 years we've played our district our Christmas tournament before Christmas, and then we've had a lull, you know, right after. Well, this year we're going to play after, and I think it's going to help because we're going over to Fulton playing good competition. All 8 teams can play, and so you know you're going to get 3 good games in. Sometimes, you know, those holiday tournaments, you try to act like you're not going to go in and be, you know, hardcore at it. And of course, you get in there and you want to win, and everybody's in that same boat. They want to give everybody a little bit of time off, but they still want to play and stay fresh. But it's going to be big because we come right out of the break and play PAL, play Halls, and play AC, and I think all 3 of those are on the road. And we got to, you know, obviously we want to say we want to get all of them out of that, and that would really put us in great standing because we'd be done with Anderson County, and then PAL and Halls would come back to us at the end of the year. So, which, you know, I hate to put all, you know, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, but that would be good to come out of there. If we could get a sweep right there, and that put us in the driver's seat and let everybody else beat and bang on everybody. And I think we match up with some of those teams. You know, Halls is going to play good, tough defense. They're not, and they're going to stay on the perimeter more, shooting the ball. So that, you know, that helps us keeps our post out of foul trouble, things like that. Powell's going to be a matchup. They got the Coke girl to shoot. They got the Moore girl on the inside. They've got a good mix. But you know, a lot of these teams in our district don't have post play like we do. And well, I think we can maybe get the Moore girl in foul trouble, contest her shots, you know, and try to make them one-dimensional with the Coker girl from the outside.
I know there's a lot of good teams in the district. Who do you feel is the number one competition for the district?
Well, to me, I would say Powell, just because they didn't lose much from last year's team. I don't think they lost anybody. I don't think anybody graduated. So, and they came the runner-up. And of course, last year they beat us down there, and we beat them at home, and then they beat us in the district tournament. So, I think if we can execute, do the things we want to against them, and like I said, we've got posts that can score. Some of these teams, with the Moore girl in the middle, they can't really do anything. You know, she's about 6'1", 6'2". She really limits the shots that can go up. But our girls, you know, I'm more go right at her, try to get her in foul trouble, try to get her out of the game, try to get into their bench because their bench is not real deep. Like I say, Hall's always going to be a tough match because Coach Moore does a good job about getting them. They'll play defense, and you don't want to play zone, and they do a good job of their man moving, because they can usually shoot the ball in that zone. And so, you know, that's going to be a matchup. We'll be glad to get another chance at Anderson County. We didn't play real well. You know, they didn't shoot real well. And it was just, you know, both teams were kind of grinding it out, and they come on the better end of it. So we'll be glad to try to get another chance at them also.
And of course, you got Carnes in that mix too. And to me, you know, my longtime experience with it, Carnes is always that basketball thorn.
Well, they've taken a step back over the last couple of years. The Hardin Valley Open kind of hurt them. They went one year, they had like 5 seniors, and then it opened, and those girls, of course, those girls graduated, and that freshman class ended up going to Hardin Valley. So it slacked them off a little bit. We had a good night against them there a couple of weeks ago, and I know one of their girls was kind of sick. So, we talk about coming out each and every night, and like I said, play hard and don't look at the scoreboard and just kind of keep competing.
How much difference does it make that second time against the team?
I think it can make a difference. You know, you know what to play, you know what to look at. You know, gives us a better chance. You know, I think it'll give us a better chance against Anderson County. We weren't sure how they were going to match up against us. They got in that zone they played the last couple of years, which we thought they may play more man, and we had a hard time getting some looks against that zone. So hopefully we have a better chance. But we need to try to mix it up well against them, against those teams. You know, and I'll give it to our girls. We played pretty good man defense where I thought we would stay with that zone, but at times we went man. I think the Anderson County game we played man a lot of the second half against Stone Memorial. We played a good second half of man. So, but it does make a difference. So you sometimes worry like we beat Anderson County we beat Oak Ridge pretty good the other night. Sometimes you worry as a coach when you go down there. You know, how are we going to feel? How are we going to adjust playing there? But I think it builds on our confidence more than I worry about the other team building up to play against us.
All right, well, Coach, I don't have anything else. John, you have? You probably bring
Well, some good answers there from the coach.
I appreciate
bring
it.
and then Chelsea on.